Now, the most personally impacting matter of our day is centered around the question of how do we care for the poor and the sick in America? Now, the budget for the U.S. government in the year 2010, as an example, was $3.4 trillion. If you counted off $1 every second of every year, it would take you 34,000 years to reach $1 trillion. That means that our government is spending over $100,000 every second of every day. Now, this wild spending has brought us to the most critical economic issue of today, which is this: how can we pay for this debt? How can we stop from going broke, each and every one of us? One side says, raise taxes on the rich. They're not paying their fair share, even though the top 20% of wage earners in America pay around 70% of all the taxes in the nation. But the other side says this: cut government spending, cut taxes, cut regulations. Simply reduce the size of government and give freedom back to the people. Give the people back their money and let them decide how best to invest it. Now let's look at these two ideas in reality. Let's begin by asking, how is the federal government paying for this debt? Now, as I said, in the year 2010, as an example, the U.S. spent $3.4 trillion. Now, $1.9 trillion of that came from taxes. Now, keep in mind that the government doesn't make any money. It gets virtually all of its revenue by taxing us. So where does that huge section of money come from? Well, that red area represents $1.5 trillion, or 43% of the entire budget of America. And that money is borrowed. How would that work for you if you tried that at home? I don't recommend that. Now, where does this $3.4 trillion go? $1.3 trillion pays for the entire cost of the government. That means that it pays the salary of every senator, every congressman, all their staff, their offices, their desks, their pencils and the paper that they write on, all their cars and the gas to fuel those cars, and all of their insurance programs. And it pays for the entire cost of the U.S. military. Now, that is mostly all that the federal government is supposed to be responsible for, according to the Constitution. Prior to the Great Depression, the remaining red area never existed. So what is it? Well, $2.1 trillion goes to entitlement programs. That means programs like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and miscellaneous programs like food stamps and unemployment and so on. Now, even though our Constitution doesn't give Congress the right to control programs like this, let's just presume for a moment that it does. Where do we get the money to pay for it all? Okay, let's try taxing the rich more than everyone else by a long shot. We'll start on January 1st by taking every dime of profit from every Fortune 500 corporation in America. That ought to do it. But that only gets us up to February 8th. Well, it's Super Bowl time. So how about if we come up with some sort of a retroactive tax that allows us to collect every dollar spent for every Super Bowl ad run ever since the very first Super Bowl was played back in 1967. But let's not stop there. How about let's confiscate all of the earnings from every sports athlete in America? All those outrageous salaries from every basketball and football and baseball player, every soccer and hockey player, every golfer or NASCAR driver, everyone. Let's take all of their salaries. Well, that pays our bills for another 2 days. Next, we'll take all of the personal earnings from everyone who makes over $250,000 a year. Okay, but that pays us up only to July 10th. I guess we're going to have to dig a bit deeper. So how about if we end all of the wars we're involved in? Let's bring everybody back home from Iraq and Afghanistan and everywhere. That ought to save some serious money. But that pays our bills for only another 2 weeks. Okay, since Hollywood has so much money, let's take all of the money from Star Wars that they've ever made from all of their movies and the sale of all of their merchandise. And let's confiscate every home in the Hollywood Hills. and sell them all. Apply that all to the debt. And that gets us up to August the 4th. All right, let's stop messing around here. America has over 500 billionaires and a whole bunch of wannabes who almost make $1 billion. How about if we take all of their money? Take all of their money and we'll apply that. Yeah, now we're paid up to October 10th. But hey, it's the holiday season. Let's take every penny from the sale of every holiday item from every store in America until Christmas. But we still need more money. Okay, we'll take all the money that we usually apply, send out to foreign aid, and apply that to the debt. But the bad news is, we're still short. So I guess we're gonna have to just go around and collect a check for $44 from every living, breathing person in the United States. That's a check for $44 from every man, woman, child, and baby in America. Now, finally, we paid our debts. We made it to December 31st. We took care of all of our bills. But the bad news is, tomorrow is January 1st of 2011, and our debt has increased to $3.8 trillion. Well, what do we do now? There's no one left to tax. All the corporations and all the people with the money to give us the jobs that we need are all broke, and so are we. The bottom line is there's not enough money or resources in all the world to provide all the free services and outrageous retirement programs that our government has been promising many people here in America. Unless everyone is working and contributing, creating products and providing services for the benefit of all the others. But that won't happen as long as so many people are getting paid not to work. Maybe taxing the rich isn't the answer to the question of how to help the poor and the sick in America.